All right, there, guys. So it looks like the transfer window has finally opened for Liverpool, as we've had some legit news today regarding an incoming that potentially could happen maybe as soon as this week, guys. But before we get to that, a little bit of housekeeping for you. Please like the video if you do enjoy it. Leave a comment down below to let me know your thoughts on everything we're about to cover. And also, guys, if you are new here and haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all the latest Liverpool news. So then, guys, let's start where it all started today, around about 1:15 today. The journalists all went around about the same time. Paul Joyce was first, followed a minute later by Ian Doyle and Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein, all saying the same regarding that Liverpool are considering Real Sociedad midfielder Martin Zubimendi. This obviously comes a day after we heard that David Ornstein was saying that Liverpool were looking for a number 6. Didn't name the player, but was basically saying it was outside the Premier League. Now, the fact that all these journalists went out literally within a minute of each other says to me that Liverpool want to get this news out there. The reason why, don't know. Are they trying to put pressure on somebody? Are they trying to make it look like they're doing something this window? Again, don't know. But it's not a Paul Joyce exclusive, because everybody's gone with it at the same time, basically. Yeah. So and especially Fabrizio Romano, who's got one of the biggest social media followings out there regarding football news. He also tweeted out literally a minute after Paul Joyce. So they must have all been told round about the same time for Ian Doyle to be able to write an article up, and for Romano to also get his tweet out and everything like that. So then, guys, let's start with some of these articles, shall we? Paul Joyce was the first one, who says that Zubimendi, the midfielder from Real Sociedad, who has a release clause of 51 million, has emerged as a target for Liverpool. Arne Slot is considering making him his first signing and believes he can add control to his engine room. Slot wants Liverpool to play a more possession-based game, and strengthening at the 6 with a technical player has been a priority. It seems he wants to move away from Endo. Now, this next paragraph, guys, is key to how Liverpool could potentially steal a match on the other players that have tried to sign him this summer. Apparently he's turned down Arsenal as well as Man United. Goes on to say that Zubimendi has the same agent as Alonso and Areola, and he is well known to Liverpool's new sporting director, Richard Hughes. Hughes brought Areola to English football when he appointed him as the Bournemouth coach 12 months ago, while Xabi Alonso was approached to replace Jurgen Klopp, but opted to remain at Bayer Leverkusen. The fee equates to 60 million euros, and Liverpool can offset some of that by selling Tyler Morton, who has had loan spells at Blackburn Rovers and Hull. The 21-year-old is valued at £20 million and is wanted by Leipzig, among others. So first and foremost, guys, it looks like Liverpool are having to, again, I don't want to say it this way, but it sounds like they're having to sell somebody to bring a bit of money in to get this deal done. Just by that last paragraph, it is what it is, I'm not bothered. But, it's something out there that needs to be said. Moving on to the David Ornstein article, he pretty much says a lot of the same thing. But he adds that the La Liga club will not negotiate a fee below the release clause of £51.7 million. Liverpool would also need to convince Zubimendi to leave, which a number of suitors from the Premier League and elsewhere have not managed to do so far. Zubimendi has previously attracted interest of Arsenal and Barcelona, with the latter keen on the Spaniard as far back as last summer. So he also turned down Barcelona last year, guys. He goes on to say that The Athletic reported on Tuesday that Liverpool were pursuing a number 6 from outside the Premier League as a priority to add to Arne Slot's squad. Anything else that we could take off this article here that we haven't already spoke about? Nah, that's about it for the Ornstein article. And then Ian Doyle, guys. Anything new on here that we could do? Just touches on. Apparently as well, Ian Doyle is saying that if a player of Zubimendi comes in, Endo's future would be in doubt. Liverpool have rejected a bid of around 12 million from Marseille already, but they could now be open for departure from him. And he also adds that should this deal be completed, the transfer of Zubimendi would likely be a trigger for a number of moves in the market for Liverpool ahead of the deadline on August the 30th. So this, to me, guys, is all pretty much very exciting. And to top this all off, and this is a kind of a reason why I'm kind of glad I'm doing this video a little bit later, guys, the local media where in Spain are basically also putting this out. And now some people are saying that this guy, Mikel Recalde, again, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, he apparently is the Paul Joyce of this club of Real Sociedad. And basically that is the translation from his tweet there, that Liverpool are very serious and Zubimendi is thinking about it. The Real Sociedad club already knows that the English are willing to pay the 60 million euros of his release clause. So they're saying that Liverpool are going to pay the 51 odd million for the release clause, guys. But it will be up to the player to make his decision, who is very attracted by the proposal, who decides basically. So they're saying Liverpool are going to put the bid in. It's going to be accepted because they've got no choice. And then it will be down to Zubimendi to accept it, whether or not he does or not. There's also an article that was attached to this tweet. And when you read it, and I translated it into English, but it didn't come through properly. But basically, it said something along the lines that Zubimendi would potentially like to follow in Xabi Alonso's footsteps by making the move from Real Sociedad to Liverpool. And, you know, if he comes in and he does anything pretty much like Xabi Alonso did, then I think we're on to a bit of a winner there, aren't we? So what I'd do as well, guys, because I did touch on Zubimendi yesterday in a video, and to be honest with you, he was third choice out of all the players that I picked. There was 4 players that everyone was talking about on social media: Ugarte, Zubimendi, Edison, and Alan Varela. And I kind of went through some of the stats and I ranked them. And as I say, Zubimendi came third, Ugarte was last, Alan Varela was second, and top was Edison at Atalanta. But here's a bit of a profile breakdown for you guys. So it goes on to say here that Zubimendi is a versatile player. He draws comparisons to Busquets. He showcases composure and control, precise decision-making. His role involves initiating plays from deep positions and adjusting the game's tempo. So he's basically a player that likes to control the game, and he is pretty much like Thiago a little bit. To me, it sounds like he's very much like Thiago. He has also scored goals and provided assists, demonstrating his skills in the final third. Zubimendi is a key player for Real Sociedad, bridging the gap between defence and midfield. He showcases his composure and control, guiding plays and adjusting the game's tempo. His role involves initiating plays from deep positions, displaying precise decision-making. Zubimendi's aptitude for receiving passes and creating space is reminiscent of Busquets again. There we are again. Reflecting on a deep understanding of the game and the art of crafting opportunities. His technical abilities, including dribbling and deep runs, align with the top midfielders, while his ball retention in tight spaces mirrors qualities seen in players like Xabi Alonso and David Silva. God, if he could have come anywhere near those type of players, then Liverpool, again, as I've just said, are on to a winner with this one, guys. And then just lastly, guys, as well, I've just added the stats in again that I showed last night. So I'll just cover this bit here. Basically talking about Liverpool and why he would fit in at Liverpool here. The new head coach's style is more possession-based than his predecessor and requires more of a technical controller as their number 6 rather than a destroyer. And that's why I ranked Ugarte last out of the 4 players yesterday. Zubimendi has been identified as someone who can fit that role, as he has the attributes that Slot is looking for. Zubimendi is comfortable receiving the ball under pressure, making intelligent decisions to build attacks from deep with his passing range and ball carrying abilities. He also offers a defensive shield. Now, here you can see his stats, guys, from last year. He won 87.8 of his duels, 36.8 defensive actions, 51 progressive carries. So he runs quite far with the ball when he's got it. His forward passes are pretty high at 71.5 and the completion at 73.3. Key passes 14.7, which is it's high, I'd say, for a defensive midfielder, because basically this is like, you know, assists or leading to penalties, stuff like that. So, you know, it's pretty high that in my opinion, for a holding midfielder. Again, progressive passes, again, pretty high. And then his minutes there played. He wasn't injured that much last year, guys, in all fairness. So there we have it, guys. That is the update we've got on Zubimendi. I hope you enjoy this video. Let me know your thoughts. Are you excited by this? I'm going to just say this now. Like, having looked at him a bit more and looked at a bit of compilation and stuff, I can understand it. You know, like Edison and Alan Varela maybe offer a little bit more on the right-hand side of the midfield in regarding progressive carries and like passing the ball and stuff. But I guess since this kid's got like a release clause that's not that high, in all fairness, in modern day football, I guess it's a bit of an opportunity too hard to miss out on. And also, as well, I will say this: Liverpool won't have gone public with this, in my opinion, if they didn't think there was an opportunity of this potentially happening. So I would keep an eye on this going forward, guys. Anyway, that's enough of me. Let me know in the comments down below what you think on all of this, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.